Pastor Wes here. Do you ever feel like your Christian life is stagnating, or that you're not growing, or it's not turning out like you had thought it would, or you just don't know uh, what am I doing here? What is my faith? To what end am I pursuing this thing called the Christian life? Well, a lot of people feel that frustration. They don't necessarily know what they're doing and why. But the end result of everything is godliness, and specifically for us, it's Christ likeness. Okay, God um, has shown Himself to us in the person of Jesus Christ, and so what we're really looking to do is become like Christ. He is the most visible example of what godliness is. So we're seeking to be just like Him. But how do you get there? How do you get to that place? How do you get your life to conform to His life? Well, in the last several decades, people have really focused on Christian disciplines, and Christian and discipline is not a very nice word to hear. Nobody wants to think about discipline, um, but it's a big part of who we are and what we do as Christians. And there's this book, "Spiritual Christians for the Christian Life" by Donald Whitney. Um, I've just started reading it, and I'm going to be going through it a little bit with you week to week here on video. And today, I want to start out talking about what he talked about in his very first chapter in the introduction, kind of, is what is the end result or the end goal to doing all these Christian disciplines. And what he says is it's godliness. And now, godliness doesn't necessarily sound exciting to a lot of people. When they think of godliness, they think of like Michelangelo's painting on the top of the ceiling of the Sistine Chapel, where it's just a man in a toga on a cloud with a big beard, and he's reaching out with his finger and touching Adam with Adam's finger. And so, just being like God is being kind of nebulous or powerful or far away or distant or something like that. They don't really think about the actual individual attributes of God. But we really do desire godliness. Most of the noble traits that we really do desire are godly traits. In your life, if you wish you were more creative, guess what? Creativity is godliness. If you feel like I want more freedom in my life to be able to do all the great things that I want to be able to do, that freedom is actually part of godliness. If you feel like you just wish you were more joyful, guess what? Nobody's happier than God, actually. No, people don't think of God as being happy. They think of him as being angry. But he's actually a very joyful person. Um, God is a kingdom builder. He's trying to conquer the earth with his goodness, with the good kingdom. Not to be a tyrant, not to just dominate. He wants to conquer and liberate and free all of us. He is the protector of his people, especially you see in the Old Testament, the people of Israel. He was their protector. He is the source of all wisdom. If you feel like, I just wish I were wiser. I wish I could give better advice to people. That is a godly trait. If you see that your house or your workplace is nothing but chaos, and you wish that you could be the peacemaker there and make everything calm and move smoothly, run smoothly like it should, that's a godly trait. Um, and if you just wish that you could help people more, if you wish that you could love people better, hey, these are all godly traits. But how do you get there? You get there through practicing these Christian disciplines. What are the Christian disciplines? Well, in the book we'll go through those. There are things like Bible reading, prayer, worship, solitude, meditation, things like that. Things that don't necessarily come naturally to people. But guess what? For any kind of musician or athlete, what they were doing to get to where they were, it didn't come naturally either. You see people who are great musicians, and they didn't just come out of the womb being able to do that. It took 10,000 hours of practice for them to get there. If you see an athlete who can do amazing things, well, guess how many bleachers they had to run in order to get that strong. So, spiritual disciplines, just like any other discipline, the flesh doesn't want to do it. The lazy part in us doesn't want to do it. They just want to, boom, have it and instantly. But that's not the way it works. And so you have to put in the countless hours of discipline to be able to do anything well. and the Christian disciplines are no different. But the end result is a kind of freedom. You see that musician on the piano, they're free. They can play anything they want. There is nothing holding them back. But discipline got them there. You see an athlete and they're on the court or on the field or wherever they are. It looks like they can do anything out there and nobody can stop them. But it took a lot of discipline for them to get there. Watch for these videos coming up in the next few weeks. We'll talk a little bit more about the disciplines. But in the meantime, I want you to pray and I want you to ask God to show you what it is in your life, what noble, godly attribute it is that you are seeking, that you know that you've been seeking for a long time. And I want you to pray and ask God to help you see it, help you desire it. And then here's the other two things. What would my life be like if I had it? What would my life be like if I never had it? What would be the end result if I never got this godly attribute in my life? How would my life end up? How would my family end up? How would my work life end up? And then ask God, what do you think it'll take for me to have that attribute in my life? What kind of discipline am I going to have to go through to get it? And then you just have to ask yourself, is it worth it or not? Do I want it that badly or not? And if the answer is no, maybe you should ask God to give you a stronger desire for it. All right, I'll see you next week. But for this week, just contemplate what godly attribute out there do I want and what's it going to take to get it. And God, give me the strength to desire it so that I can say, yes, I'm willing to put in the work to get it. Okay? All right. Love you. Have a good week. Bye.